Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for part 2 of the Baddies West reunion. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. This reunion was insane, so let's just get right into this review. Now, part 2 of this reunion was a hot mess. I mean, from beginning to end. As soon as DJ Sky and Stunna Girl stepped foot on that stage, that's when everything went to shit, because Stunna Girl immediately starts running at Biggie, and Biggie sees that Stunna Girl is running at her, and so she runs towards her as well. The two of them start fighting for literally 2 seconds, and then security breaks them up. And then on top of that, DJ Sky ends up running at Rollie, and the two of them are fighting, and obviously Rollie ended up getting the better of DJ Sky in this fight. DJ Sky ended up on the floor, and listen, I'm not saying DJ Sky was a punk, because she did fight back, but she absolutely did not win that fight, nor did she win the other 2 fights that she got into with Rollie this reunion. Now, security tried really hard to keep DJ Sky and Rollie from each other, but they literally spent 5 minutes straight yelling at each other, trying to get towards each other, knowing that security was not going to let them get anywhere near one another, and it was just a lot to take in at once. Now, at one point when security was not paying attention, DJ Sky ended up running up on Rollie again. She actually hopped up in the air, and basically Rollie kind of caught her and was like hitting her, and then security runs over there really quickly and pulls her away. Now, Stunna Girl tries to jump in this fight, and Biggie runs over there and she starts screaming and yelling about Stunna Girl trying to jump Rollie, and I'm not okay with jumping. I don't think it's okay at all. Like, I think it's really whack to even do that. But you can't really say too much about Stunna Girl trying to jump Rollie, because Rollie did jump in the fight between Tommie and Stunna Girl in this season. I remember it very clearly. And so we can't necessarily say that she was wrong for it, because it was done to her. But I don't think that she should have tried to do it to Rollie as well, because I just don't think 2 wrongs make it right. But at the end of the day, I feel like I can't say too much about that situation. Now, Natalie is extremely entertaining to me. I'm not a fan of her. I never have been, but she is entertaining, because when she sees that Tommie is walking close to the stage, she starts making faces and saying things to Tommie, and I'm just like, what the hell? Natalie was definitely drunk during this reunion, because she had a drink in her hand most of the time, but it was just funny to watch her try to interact with Tommie. It was just a hot-ass mess. Now, as you know, Kat and Tommie had a back and forth on social media, and so when Kat and Tommie see each other, they're yelling shit at each other, accusing each other of all types of stuff, and then at one point, the two of them start swinging on each other, okay? They're swinging, and security ends up pulling them apart. I think that it would have been good to kind of let them go a little bit, because I really kind of wanted to see Kat and Tommie fight, not because I like to see women fight each other, but I was just interested to see how that would turn out, but security didn't really let that happen, so it wasn't necessarily a fight between the two of them. They just swung a couple of times at each other. Natalie is getting held back by security, and her and Tommie are yelling shit back and forth at each other, and Natalie takes a drink and she tosses it at Tommie, and Tommie might be high or something during this reunion, because she seemed completely unfazed at the drink thrown at her. She was asking for a napkin or a towel or something to wipe it off. It was just crazy, because as soon as Tommie got on the stage, that's when chaos broke out even more. Tommie ends up asking Rollie if she was told to go on live and say that she was on drugs when that whole Chris Brown situation took place. And I don't think that Rollie was told to go on live and say anything about Natalie. I think she was embarrassed and she was pissed off at what Tommie did. And so that's the reason why she went live and started talking about her. Now, she did say that she never saw Tommie do drugs, but we all know that there's a lot of rumors out there about things that Tommie does, and drugs are one of those things that people have said rumors about her. And so that's the reason why when Rollie was live, she was throwing drug low blows at her. And so I don't think that Rollie was told to do it at all. I think she did it because she wanted to. I don't really think that Rollie is easily controllable. There's a lot of chaos going on stage, and Lo is the only person that's really calm. And so she sees that Tommie has a taser in her hand. Like, she's holding her phone, but her phone has a taser on it. And she tries to deny this, but Lo saw it, and I think a couple of other people saw that she had a taser on it. And so everybody's going off about it, and Lo and Tommie are arguing back and forth. And listen, I'm thinking that Tommie and Lo are going to end up fighting, because they're really getting into it back and forth. And I'm like, damn, everybody on stage is fighting. There's nobody chill on stage. stage. Biggie actually calmed down at some point on the stage after her and Stunna Girl fought. So I would say that she was the calm one, because Kat wasn't really calm either, because her and Tommie had gotten into it, and, you know, Kat ended up changing her outfit because she was dressed up in a dress and heels, and she realized that she needed to put on some sneakers and some sweatpants just in case she had to fight. So it was just messy as hell. Rollie and Stunna Girl would not shut the fuck up. Like, the entire time they were yelling and screaming at each other. They weren't fighting, they weren't running up on each other, they were just yelling at one another, and it was aggravating the hell out of me. Meanwhile, Scotty is over here trying to run up on Tommie, and listen, I'm glad that Scotty has a backbone now, but she should not be trying to run up on Tommie if she was not trying to run up and swing on Natalie when Natalie was hitting her. If she was gonna cry because Natalie hit her during the season, then she should not be on this reunion trying to run up on nobody. Now, I can understand if she tried to run up on Razor, if Razor has showed up on the show, which they did briefly address during this reunion, and Tommie said that Razor didn't come because she lost her phone on a flight, and then other people were saying that she just didn't want to come because some shit that Scotty said about her on live. So I don't know which one is true. Either way, she wasn't there, so I don't think they really needed to mention her too much, but I was just confused as to why Scotty was over there trying to run up on Tommie. It didn't make any sense to me. Now, Stevie J finally realized that things were getting real at the reunion, because at the beginning of this reunion in part 1, he was doing nothing but sitting on that couch flirting with every girl that was there, and now he's trying to calm the situation down and get a conversation going, but that did not work because Tommie and Kat started arguing back and forth with each other once again. Now, Rollie did end up having a conversation with Biggie during this reunion, and that was the only conversation that was actually able to be had during this reunion because the rest was fighting in chaos. And so Rollie basically told Biggie that she made the whole season about Stunna Girl, and the only thing that she did was yell and scream about Stunna Girl or overly defend Tommie. She didn't really show who she was, and that's the reason why she pulled away from her during the show. Now, Biggie denies all of this, and she claims that she feels like Rollie was pretending to be cool with her, and I don't agree with that because, you know, when Biggie did this show, she didn't have any clout, so there was nothing for Rollie to gain by pretending to be cool with her, so I don't know why she would say something like that. But at some point, Rollie got pissed off at, you know, Biggie because she felt like Biggie was lying and denying everything and making stuff up, and so she started yelling, and then at one point she just ended the conversation with her completely. And after she ended the conversation with Biggie, her and DJ Sky started fighting again. Once again, they started fighting. Listen, Natalie is a trip, okay? Because at one point, Natalie gets off stage and she's pissed off at the girls because they won't sit down and stop yelling because she wants to run up on stage and fight Tommie. And I think that she told all the other girls to sit down and not be in the way so that she can fight Tommie and the cameras will capture it. Some people were trying to say that Natalie wanted help fighting Tommie, but I don't think that's what it was. I think she just told all the girls, listen, I'm going to run up on Tommie. We're going to fight, so I need you guys to sit down and not be in the way. I don't think she wanted the cameras to be distracted by anything else going on but her and Tommie fighting, and so I think that's what she meant by it. But I feel like that was done because there was plenty of times that Natalie could have ran up on Tommie and she just didn't want to do it because there was other fights going on at the same time and she wanted hers to be the center of attention. Now, Natalie did try to check Stunna Girl, and Stunna Girl immediately checks Natalie and lets her know not to talk to her like that. And listen, I think Stunna Girl did the right thing by checking Natalie, because if you don't check her the first time she tries to tell you what to do or she gets snappy at you, she's going to keep on doing it until you snap on her. And so I think it's important for you to nip that in the bud immediately. Now, at one point, security just decided to let Rollie and Stunna Girl fight because they were yelling shit back and forth at each other for a really long time. And Stunna Girl was running up on Tommie and not running up on Rollie, so Rollie said something about it. And so security ended up letting the two of them fight. Now, I do think that it was a tie between the two of them when they actually did get to fight, because I don't think either one of them got the better of the other. Now, when it comes to DJ Sky and Rollie, Rollie definitely won those fights between the two of them. I'm not saying it was a big, great fight between DJ Sky and Rollie, but I think that Rollie did get the better of Sky during those fights. Janisha, who is the host of the reunion, was trying to have a conversation with Lo about the fight that she had with Krishan, but Natalie would not shut up. Tommy wouldn't shut up. DJ Sky and Rollie wouldn't shut up. So you really couldn't hear the conversation between Janisha and Lo. At this point, I don't think they should even do Baddies reunions because they don't get to talk about anything. Listen, I hate to keep comparing this show to Bad Girls Club, but this is the show that they're trying to model this one off of. And so I honestly feel like the reason why the reunions for Bad Girls Club were so good because there was fights, but you were also able to hear people tell their sides of the story and talk about things. You can't have a reunion where there's nothing but fighting and nobody can get a word in. That's just crazy. Now, at the very end of the reunion, Natalie and Tommy were actually able to fight. They had a few seconds to fight, and Natalie did get the upper hand on Tommy. Now, I'm not saying if they were really able to fight, no security, and it wasn't a boxing match, and it was just a street fight between the two of them. I think it would actually be good. I don't know who would win, because Natalie does have some strength on her. She's been an athlete her whole life. But I do think that when it comes to this particular reunion, I do feel like Natalie did get the upper hand on Tommy. Now, Tommy gets pissed the hell off and she starts flipping out on security. She starts pushing cameras, destroying property. She takes a chair and she throws it at the production team. It is crazy as hell. And then at one point, some guy comes up there and tries to get on the stage to fight or some shit like that. And it was crazy. Like, do any of you guys know who the hell that guy was that walked into the reunion? Because that was crazy. Like, Rollie was yelling, like, there's a man in here. There's a man in here. And I'm like, what the hell is there a guy doing trying to come up on stage? First of all, a guy should not be that invested in this show with a bunch of women fighting each other. They just shouldn't. Stay out of it. Let the women fight each other. Don't come in and try to get involved in it at all. That's just weird to me. So I don't know what was going on. I just know that there was a lot of yelling going on. Security was yelling. It was just crazy as hell. Now, after this guy comes there and tries to get on stage and Tommy's finishing, destroying all the equipment, they ended up ending the reunion right there. It was a hot mess. Like, nothing was accomplished. A few fights were able to happen, but it was literally nothing but yelling and screaming and security everywhere holding people back. It was just a hot mess. I don't feel like they got anything accomplished, and I hope that for Baddies East, they'd have a more organized and better reunion because, yeah, we want to see fights. Like, that's why we're tuning in, but we also want to hear them talk about the seasons and tell us why they have beef, because some of the people fighting, I didn't know why they were fighting. Like, I don't know the origin of the beef between DJ Sky and Rollie. Like, I just didn't understand some of what was going on, and I feel like they should have been able to talk more during the reunion. Yes, we want to see fights, but we also want to hear them get to talk too. There's no point in having a host there if the host never gets to talk. So those are my thoughts on part 2 of the Baddies West reunion. Let me know what you guys thought about this reunion down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.